Hey everybody, Chip Wooten here. I am your DIY outdoorsman. I did my first really official DIY video. I painted a shotgun, and one of my good buddies, Ethan, you've seen him in a couple other videos, he asked me to paint his gun as well. Now he didn't want to do the Optifade. He's actually going to do like a olive drab green and black, and I'm really excited to see how it turns out. So this video is going to be all about me making that. If you're not already subscribed, make sure you do that so you don't miss these videos in the future. Also, if you'll drop a like, that really helps me pop up in other places and grow the channel. Also, I put links and everything down in the description that I use in these videos, so that if you go buy them on Amazon, a small portion of that goes to help support me and support the channel and help me keep making these videos. So check that out. Thanks so much.
Hey guys, it's Ethan here. Chip Wooten's going to help me out on this project. I'm just going to show you the basic steps prior to him painting the gun. He did this video last year, did a great job. Actually hunted with him and got to try out his gun that he painted. Kind of wanted to do the same idea on mine. Going to take the barrel, paint that black, take the stocks and paint them green. Before I hand it over to Chip though, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and sand it down. I'm going to use some 320 grit. Nothing too crazy. I don't want it to damage the stock or scratch the barrel up. So I'm going to sand it down, and after that I'll wipe it down with some gun cleaner, tape everything off, make sure no paint is getting inside the gun or in the action. So I got everything sanded, wiped it down really well, and taped it all off. Chip may tape it up a little bit more once he gets it to his house, but I wanted to at least give him a good starting point.
Alrighty, well Ethan already showed you some of the prep that he did on this. He's already got it painted here. We're actually going to do this part olive drab green, this part black, the barrel black, and the forestock are also going to be olive drab green. So I'm actually going to go ahead and paint this part first, and then I'm going to paint the whole thing black, and then I'm going to tape up this part and paint that stock. So all right, so if you guys have seen my other video, what I like to do is kind of take just a ratchet strap and hang it, and that way this kind of swings pretty free. Makes it a lot easier to spray. But the first thing I'm going to do is lay down a coat of this OD green on this. And this is a Beretta A300 Outlander. And it had a mossy oak, what is that? Shadow grass or something real other on it, but kind of was looking for a different look, so we'll go here with this. All right, here we go. So the thing you want to remember too is don't do it like all in one spot. You want to do kind of like swipes like this. This may take a couple coats to get this the way we want it, but if you do it all in one spot, it'll pool up and it'll just look really terrible. So I'm gonna have to probably do a couple coats of this because it's not real dark. Kind of thinking maybe I should have gone black first, but it'll be fine. Also, I mean, it's COVID. I should probably be wearing a mask. Let me grab one of my masks. I guess one of the benefits of COVID is you just have N95 masks just sitting around. So there we go. Now I'm not going to be breathing all that stuff in. This is going to take a couple coats. But it's going to, oh, I can already tell this is going to look bad. This is going to be a sweet little gun. Let that dry a little bit. Just air dry here. And then, actually, I could probably go ahead and start painting some of the other stuff. Or taping up this other part. So I'm going to start working on that. So while this is up here drying, what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint. I'm going to go ahead. You can already see this is already pretty well taped up. But I'm going to go ahead and tape the whole receiver because he wants this part to be green and this part to be black. So I'm going to go ahead and tape this up so that we can paint that after. Well, that only took a minute or so. Actually, there's a couple places I'm going to go back over. Make sure they're completely covered up. But this is going to get painted black anyway, so it's really not that big of a deal. It's more just to get the clean line here. So this has had a few minutes to dry, but I'm going to go ahead and hit it. There's still some spots where the camo's kind of coming through, so I'm going to use a little piece of cardboard, just kind of take some of the back spray off and just make sure we get this coated good. That's going to look great. And again, you don't want to put it all in one area. It's going to pull up real bad. So I'm going to let this part hang here for a minute. We'll go ahead and get started on this other part, on the buttstock. Since this is hanging, I'm actually just going to go ahead and spray this handheld. And remember, you don't want to get right up on it. You want to stay back from it a little bit. And that will keep it from pooling. We'll get a nice, good, even coat. That's a great start with that one. This had a few minutes to dry, so I'm going to go ahead and remove this piece. Just going to set it over here to the side. Let it dry for a minute. Move on to the barrel. So again, we kind of already got this all taped up. It's been rubbed around really well with alcohol ahead of time. Actually, I probably need to hit this with a little bit more. These little sterile prep pads are perfect for stuff like this. Just take some of that stickiness off of it. Also got the barrel taped up. Don't want anything to get down there. And let's connect this right here just like that. Actually, I'm going to turn it this way. And something we're going to do in this barrel is we're actually going to use this this black. This is the high heat Rust-Oleum. Make sure if I move this, is I can mess that gun up? Nope, it's going to balance. Perfect. All right. So I'm using this mainly now just to block the rest of the project from getting overspray on it. Make sure you always shake this stuff up good before you get started. All right. And always test it. There we go. All right. Here we go. Woo! Even with this mask on, that's aerosol. when Ethan first asked me to do this, I was a little bit skeptical. I didn't like the idea of this color pattern, but I think it's gonna look pretty cool. All right, so that's a pretty good first coat. That's awesome. Yep, we got some work to do up here. And there we go. All right. So we'll give that a few minutes to dry. All right, so now I got the barrel, the forestock, and the buttstock drying. Now I just need to paint the fore end. Now, I should probably wait for this to dry first. That's probably what I'm gonna end up doing. Before I hit that, but let that dry first. You can still see it's still pretty wet. Yeah, that'll definitely. All right, it's still not dry all the way, but I'm gonna go ahead and start stripping all our paint off. I mean, all our tape off, and make sure the tape line where it's supposed to be. So we put it together like this right now. It'll look kind of funky. All right. So as you can see, that's still. Now, if this were my gun, I'd probably go camo, but it's not my gun. And he wants this black, so we're gonna do black on this part here. I'm actually gonna go ahead and get started. Then I'm just gonna block this green with a piece of cardboard. I don't know about this, Ethan. We're gonna see. That edge is just the one part that I'm just gonna put a piece of tape. It's not all the way dry yet though. That's my only issue. I'm gonna let this dry for a bit. So this is what it looked like after it dried. This is not what we were going for. So after a brief call with Ethan and a FaceTime, we made an audible and decided to change to Hunt Club green. The original green we used was spruce green and looked just like an old army man. So it's the next day, and I'm sitting in my office. Part of the reason for some of the haste of this is that Ethan actually is leaving for a trip to Kansas tomorrow and is going to be doing some duck hunting out there. So he needed the gun done relatively quickly. There's probably some corners I cut a little bit, but next video should be Ethan coming to pick up the gun, and we'll see what he has to say about it.
All right, so I just picked up the gun from Chip. I'm gonna go home, assemble it, get everything packed up because we are headed to Kansas in the morning. Gonna hunt with one of my good buddies, Jess. Looking forward to it. I'll get the gun put together and then I'll show you guys what it looks like. All right, guys, I got the gun put together. Chip, I appreciate you painting the gun up for me. One thing I will say, I wish I would have done a little bit more research. I wish the color, I was kind of going for more of like a Cerakote green. It's looks good. It's kind of a mixture between military green, flat, and a light olive. So appreciate it again, Chip. Thanks for the help.